All right, guys, here we are. We have Thrawn. Thanks to Pop Collectibles for getting this to me. If you want to get this or any other figures, link in the description below, discount code, all that kind of fun stuff. Thrawn, big bad in Star Wars lore, Rebels specifically, and obviously from the Ahsoka show. Super excited for this one, and it's time to go ahead and open it up. We just opened the Kenobi, which is almost perfect, but not quite. And now we've got other figures coming in, so Thrawn needs to get opened up. So TMS 146, looking at our 116, sorry. Bad vision. 116, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Typical Star Wars box, nothing crazy going on there. We've got just, let's just see. Now, I believe, if I do remember correctly, back when this figure was first announced, I said there was really only one pose to put him in for display. I'm still sticking to that. I think there's only one possible pose that makes any sense. Like this accessory right here, could care less about. These guys back here, not even going to bother with, most likely as far as reviewing or adding to the collection. Like they just, not all that interested, to be quite honest with you in those. But Thrawn is a big bad in Rebels. I mean, if we got a Kanan and, we got Hera and we got Chopper and we got Sabine, and why we don't have an Ezra, like, I don't quite understand that one, because Ezra was the whole point of the whole flipping show, was to go rescue Ezra. I mean, that was the point, and then we don't even have a figure from him. But maybe one day we will. Maybe one day. So our blue villain is in the house. Let's take a look at this guy in his stark white suit. Yes, wash my hands so I don't have to be out there. Been messing with goats. And I'm not expecting this to be like figure of the year or anything. I just want a solid Imperial officer, which we don't get enough of. Come on, get out of there. Let's put this stuff to the side for real quick. Let's just take a quick look at this sculpt. Ooh, like it's very blue. The red eyes make total sense to me. Like this is very, very nicely done. Very nicely done. Now on mine, I've got a little bit of a, I don't know if you guys can see, it's white, so I'm not sure if it's going to show up in this lighting or next lighting. There's like a textured stitching thing going on like right here, not where the line is, but over here. That's kind of strange, but then there's one here. So, okay, so that's the stitch line for this panel, because there's one up here as well. I was thinking like, is that an error? But I think they just tried to hide it, and from a distance, you can't see it, right? You can't do that, but if I get close to it, it's like a stitch line, and there's one here as well. So I'm going to assume that's kind of what's going on with this whole panel thing and how they put it together. I'm going to assume that. I don't know if that's the fact, but it looks that way. But right off the bat, head sculpt looks fantastic. And he's not pudgy. Like in the show, remember he looked kind of like pregnant. But he had the dad bod going on. Like that looks pretty stinking good to me. I like it. I like it. I like it all. Let's see what else is in the box. Let's go there. Let's see what else we got. We'll put him over here for a second. And let's see what else we got. We have our ship. This, to me, it's got 3M tape on the bottom. Interesting. To me, I guess it doesn't go that way. There's this and there and this. Like, this is a useless accessory to me. I just don't. It's fine. It's nice. I mean, it looks straight up 3D printed, which it's not, but it kind of looked up like that with the step lines with the holograms. It's cool. It will probably go in the box and never come out again, honestly, for me. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm not super excited about that. We do have some extra blue wrist pegs. That will probably need at some future at some point. Actually, probably won't, because probably won't even change the hands. This little data pad. Kind of dig that. It's got writing on it in Arabic, but there's no way I'm actually going to be able to read that. But it's nicely done. Nice kind of like a off gold color. And then we got some red and blue accents, and then this little almost translucent type screen they've got going on there. That's nicely done. That's a nice piece. I don't mind that. That's okay. Movable eye tool, so we can deal with that. And then we've got his blaster that goes in his holster. That's not bad. Nicely done. It's a new blaster. I don't recall seeing this one in previous figures. It's pretty much black. We got a little silver, got a little wash on there. Some red dots going on there, but outside of that, it's pretty basic. He's got his pins here that are going to go in his, there, and then we'll deal with that in a second. And then we got a bunch of blue hands. So let's get these out of here. Not a whole lot of accessories with this, which I'm perfectly fine with. Like seriously, because it's just going to be in one pose. That's literally it. This is going to be like the shortest review ever. I got to get all these little pins out of here. I remember when I got, who was it? Was it Tarkin? Tarkin had the pins. Krennic had the swap out insignia because of his rank change in Rogue One. And there's no way I'm getting that out of there. I'll deal with that in a minute. But you could change out his rank, which was kind of a cool feature. But obviously, Grand Admiral Thrawn, he doesn't need that feature. So, typical Star Wars Death Star base, Grand Admiral Thrawn right there. Nothing fancy going on with that. Hands-wise, looks like we've got just some relaxed gesturing hands that are on the figure. Kind of a funky, that must like a data pad holding hand. We'll get to that in a little bit. And then what else? Let's see. Most of these hands I'm not going to use. He's got some wall crawling hands. A la Spider-Man. Yeah. And let's see here. We've got a holding hand for something. Not a blaster, because there's a blaster holding hand right here. I don't know what that hand's for. Nice. This hand right here, it makes total sense. This is a Thrawn-esque hand. That works for me. This one, not sure. Data, is that for the data pad? Like, really? I guess it could be a thing. So we'll go with that. We'll go with data pad head. So that's cool. All right, let me get this plastic bits off of here. We'll take a little closer look at this guy. Fun fact, in order to get this little plastic bit around the boot, you got to take the entire boot off. That's annoying. Anyways, you can see what's going on here. We got some ankle extenders. But that's annoying. You got to take this thing off to get plastic off before you can enjoy your figure and rule the galaxy. Here's another thing that can happen. You can take the leg off at the leg instead of the foot because it didn't want to come out. But hey, it still worked. All right, so upon further inspection of the actual box insert, that little spot right there is actually there on the photo. So attention to detail times 100 for Hot Toys. Like it's literally in the photo there. So I'm wondering, so it's not a defect. So we'll go with that because it's literally on the blogger photos or the stock photos. So it's not a defect. Is it where he patched his suit? I don't know. If you guys have a guess on that, let me know. My guess is, I mean, that must be screen accurate. So we'll go with that for now. As far as the suit goes, the belt's a pleatherish belt. Actually, yeah, it's kind of pleathery. It might be some kind of rubber, but it feels kind of pleathery. Vinyl, maybe. But Velcro on the back, and it's got the holster on the side, which is not, that's straight up pleather. I mean, it just is what it is. You got to put in your little deals right here. They're super small. I had to get those out of the box. I got these installed. They look fine. The belt buckle looks great. No issues with that. And then we have the pleather boots. Single piece boot, as we saw me take these things apart. Looks pretty good. Now, as far as range of motion, there's nothing going to limit this guy. It's going to have double bends everywhere. There's literally, this figure will do whatever you want it to do based on the character it is. But it's just one of those things. I have not taken the blue or the tape off that yet. So I'll do that in a little bit. Double bend on there. You can do whatever you want to do there. I did get my knee put back in place on that. That had to rip the whole leg off to fix it, but that's fine. Just to get tape off, which is a very strange thing for Hot Toys. But like I said, this is going to be one of those figures for me. Posing wise, it's going to be very simple. Not going to be crazy. Happy to have it in the collection. Let's see what he looks like on display. So we got our Thrawn posed up here, and this is the pose. This is it. I mean, you can move the eyes around, but I don't see much point in that. They're literally deep red, and he's got a little pupil in there, and that's about it. So there's not a whole lot going on there. Expression is a Thrawn expression, so no issues with that. If you caught a photo I threw up on Instagram of Kenobi's head on this figure, maybe I'll show it later in the video, but it actually looks pretty damn good. This figure is exactly what I expected it to be. and nothing more, nothing less. It really is. It's Thrawn. Like I really, all the other, he literally could have came with 0 accessories. I would have been just fine. And he doesn't, but I would have been fine. The blue looks screen accurate. Now, if you'd asked me if I'd gone with this, a live action sculpt or the animated sculpt, probably would have went the animated sculpt. He looked a little bit more alien. I don't know. He's just something about it. He's fierce, whatever. But this is fine. I do like that they did not do. Let me go ahead. I'll turn this guy around. I do like that he doesn't have the belly. Like I thought. I do like that. So there it is. It does look weird from the side with the hands back there. No joke. It does. But I do appreciate it doesn't have the belly. And so I like that. Now, the other thing you got to be careful of this. Super white suit. You don't want to be eating Cheetos with this guy. Doritos, whatever you like. Hot Wings, whatever it is you like to snack on. Like, wash your hands before you deal with this thing because it is very, very white. And I think it looks pretty good. And what does he look like next to Director Krennic? Well, he's taller. And the suit is more crisp white. Like the Krennic one is like almost off-white, but it is white. But compared to Thrawn, it's different. Like it's just ever so different. And but there they are. Thrawn is significantly taller. As we saw when I took apart the legs, he's got the ankle extenders on there, which definitely makes him taller. He's broader. These guys together are going to look pretty sick on the display, I think. But there they are, looking all kinds of good. We need more of these Hot Toys. Give us some more of these Imperial officers. Like we need a lot. All right, so we got this hologram thing of the cruiser, like the destroyer, I guess, if you will. And it's got this 3M tape on the bottom because in the inside, underneath the tray, you get this guy, which is supposed to be something fancy and whatever. And you're supposed to put this guy in here and put it in here, take off the tape. And you're supposed to, like, tape it together. But I think that's completely silly because this is not something I will ever use. Now, I will tell you this. What I wanted to do was be able to just take this, stick it on this right here, right? And then put it on this, which a lot of us Star Wars collectors have. However, you can't do that because it's you need this to do. Anyways, it's a thing. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to 3D print a rod this diameter to fit these two pieces together. And then I might be able to do like this and have this thing lit up. Now I'll have to get rid of this tape because it's opaque and it's like not letting light through. But it's getting some light through. You can kind of see that. But I think it's okay. And if you really wanted to go ahead and add this guy in there, I guess you could. But I don't think it really works. I don't know. Like I just think the whole idea of the base and then this guy here and then this here is a bit convoluted. And in a what if series, if Star Wars Kenobi had became an Imperial officer. Yes, you can switch out the heads on the new Kenobi with the Thrawn. And if you want to change it, I didn't change out the neck. You can change out the neck. And you can do all the things. And I didn't change the hands because currently Kenobi has blue hands. So he's hiding them. So nobody can tell that. I think that looks pretty stinking good. What do you guys think? Like that's pretty freaking good. Anyways, I'm fun with this thing. Yeah. Until we actually have Sabine, Hera, Chopper, maybe an Ezra and a Kanan, maybe sometime in the future. I don't know. Anyways, until then, this is what we got to go with our Thrawn. Again, simple pose, not going to do anything crazy with it. I just want to give you some height differences. Obviously, Ahsoka should be significantly shorter than Thrawn. And she looks pretty good here. And we got the other Ahsoka coming out at some point. And I think she'll look good as well. And honestly, this is the best Ahsoka, in my opinion, thus far. The Clone Wars one we got from Hot Toys leaves a lot to be desired. I was honestly a bit disappointed in that one. As far as Thrawn goes, super happy to have it in the collection. Just another Imperial officer thrown in the ranks. It's going to look great. Some like Death Star display or something like that. Some ship display. Or you've got him chasing down rebels. Either way you want to do it. He's going to look stoic. He's going to look badass. And he really doesn't need to do anything but that. Pretty cool. I got mine from Pop Collectibles. If you want to get one for yourself, check them out. Link in the description below. As always, click what you like, subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time.